I've made a lot of mistakes in my career. One of the biggest ones is not protecting my attitude. We're going to talk about how you can protect your attitude that protects the company, that protects the entrepreneur, that protects everything around you as an entrepreneur today. I've never met a perfect entrepreneur. I've never met somebody who works in a company for a long time, stays there, is loyal, they see a leader, they like their heart, their intentions, their actions, and they don't make any mistakes. Entrepreneurs are not perfect people. I've made a lot of mistakes in my career. I know that the Mario you see today is not the Mario I was just a few years ago. You wouldn't recognize me. I want the team to put up a picture. This is me before, this is me now. What happened? What's the difference in these two pictures? What's the difference in this guy? What is it about this environment and Patrick that maybe he's been patient with me, and how have I developed into an entrepreneur that loves what he does, that loves the company, and loves the mission? Well, it's attitude and effort. I had to make sure my attitude was in the right spot, and then I had to make sure that I put in the effort to change and the effort to lead and the effort to really work on my mindset as much as possible. And you're going to have to as well, because if you follow Valuetainment for years, if you follow Patrick online, you know that we love to ask people one question. The one question that opens up this entire conversation on attitude is, how you doing? How you doing? How are you? How are you doing today? Even before watching this video, how did you come into it? Why are you watching it? How did you walk into work today? How did people see you today? When you walked around, when you walked to the coffee shop, when you walked to the bank, when you walked to the store, when you talked to your mom, when you talked to your kids, how you doing? That's such an important question, because that question opens up your vulnerabilities, and it opens up the opportunity for someone to call you out. If you have a great attitude, they're going to tell you great things. If you have a bad attitude, you're going to hear, why are you mad today? So checking your attitude is a very important conversation in any work environment, but successful entrepreneurs know how to check that mindset. Let's talk about how we can do that. The first point is the desperate need for recognition. I find too many people are working on projects, they're working on things that are going from A to Z, and they really want the recognition for everything. I worked on it, my idea, this is me, I did it, I finished it, I did this. Share recognition with people. Share the recognition with your team. It doesn't matter who came up with the idea. Was it executed properly? Was it completed? Was it done? It's a team victory. If we try to really pinpoint who did what on what project and who came this and, who planted the seed, who found the script, the desperate need for recognition can pollute someone's attitude, because you're constantly thinking, I never get the recognition. Nobody gave me any credit. Nobody said it was me. Don't be desperate for recognition. A real entrepreneur knows that eventually people start talking and they say, hey, we all know who came up with that one. You're going to get your recognition. So don't let your attitude be polluted by not getting it in the moment. Remember, your success and your victory comes if the team is winning, and if people are leading, and if they're getting recognition, you're creating the right kind of culture. Don't be desperate for recognition. Point number 2 used to be one of my favorites. Not anymore, because I'm checking my attitude. Okay? But the avoidance of conflict. Man, stop avoiding conflict. I still do it sometimes, but I've stopped doing it, because sometimes the avoidance of conflict makes you linger. Imagine walking around with a 50-pound dumbbell on your back. Like literally right now, go get a backpack, put a bunch of stuff, put a bunch of books in it, and go put it on your back and go walk around with it. That's what avoiding conflict is like. You ever done this? You walk by someone's cubicle and they look at you and you look away because you're afraid they're going to look at you and you're going to have to talk about that one issue yesterday. Or you had a problem with them 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, or maybe a month ago they said something in a staff meeting and you still think about it every night. You go home, and when you go out with your friends or when you're talking to your spouse or your partner, you talk about that one person and the one thing they told you, and then you come up with what, 20 or 30 well, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that. Next time I see them, you say nothing. You wake up, you go throughout your day, you go to sleep, you think about it on weekend, you pray about it at church. Stop avoiding it. Okay, the conversation is very simple. John, do you have a minute? Can I talk to you? Yeah, sure. In private or right here? No, let's go in private. Hey, John, can we take a walk? Mary, can I go over and, can we just talk about something real quick? By the way, if you're ever going to have a direct conversation with a young lady, with a lady, keep the door open. Have somebody else there with you. Make sure you do it in public. You want to make sure that those conversations are just exposed and out there. You don't want any misunderstanding. Protect the women, protect yourself. But at the same time, hey, John, can I talk to you? Hey, man, I just want to say something. I didn't like this. I've been holding on to blank. You know, I had somebody call me just 2-3 days ago, and they said, hey, man, can I talk to you? Recently at an event, I said something to you in front of my team, and all 4 of my new team members were sitting right there, and I said something to you. And I didn't know why I said it. I woke up mad that morning. I was having a bad day. I just wasn't myself, and I took it out on you. He didn't even know that I had been thinking about that for over a month. And I thought, why would he say that? Why did he say that to me? I don't understand why. What did I do to deserve that? Someone else, they say hurting people hurt people. Whatever was bugging him that day, he took it out on me, but it lived with him. And he brought it up to me. But guess what? I said, hey, man, all good. Water under the bridge. He said, I feel so much better. I said, me too. Misunderstanding. Now we're both, he avoided it for a little while, but he eventually brought it up. I feel better about it. He feels better about it. But it's the avoidance of conflict that creates this animosity in a toxic environment. Toxicity sucks, guys. Don't create toxic environments. Deal with conflict. And you realize that sometimes the conflict was simply a misunderstanding, a miscommunication. And it improves communication in the entire organization. When things come up, you deal with it faster. Don't avoid conflict. This next one makes me crack up because I've done this for so many years. It's probably been one of my biggest weaknesses that I've had to overcome. Don't ask for help. Man, if you want a bad attitude, if you really want to see how your attitude changes real quick, try doing everything yourself. Okay, a lot of people want to be like Atlas. They want to carry the world on their shoulders, and they want to be like this. Nancy, can you Photoshop me on Atlas? Just like there. Okay, I'm back. But sometimes you wonder, I want to do it. I can do it. Can you do this? Yes, I can. Can you help me with this? Sure. Hey, can you work on this? Yeah. Hey, can I have you do this? Yeah. And you take on so much, and then you just start holding this world on your shoulder, and it gets so heavy. And then it gets to the point, you said yes, we said yes, but then when somebody comes up to you, say, hey, how you doing? Can you leave me alone? Can you not talk to me? I have so much going on. Hold up. You asked for everything you have going on. So why are you so upset if you haven't asked for help? It's not my fault. You know, one of my favorite things to ask people is, can I read your mind? No. Then how do I know that you have all of this going on? Patrick asked me one time, he said, Mario, am I a mind reader? I said, no. He's like, do you think I know everything that you have going on right now? No. Can you make a list and show me everything you got going on? Yes. Boom, I show him the list. He's like, no wonder you're mad. No wonder you're stressed out. No wonder you respond very quick. Look at all the things you're doing that you shouldn't be working on. Let me help you. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do that. Ask for help. When you don't ask for help, you become Atlas. And remember, the reason I use Atlas is a lot of people take a lot of pride. Look how much weight I can carry. Look how strong I am. I can do all of this by myself. Being Atlas is a punishment. Go back to some Greek mythology. Atlas was burdened to carry the world on his shoulders. His eyes were gouged. It's not an honor badge to be Atlas. So stop. Go ask for help. Do me a favor today. Make a list of everything you're working on right now at your company. Literally, pause the video, make a list. I'm working on this, and break it down into personal category, family, go into business, go into finances, go into spiritual. You've seen the one-page business plan. That's all I'm reading to you. If we don't have the one-page business plan, go in the description, click the link in there to get the one-page business plan. But make a list of everything you got going on. Then look at, what am I working on? What should I be working on? And what can I give to somebody else to help me with? And now let's build some leadership and go up to Mary and John and say, hey, Mary, John, I notice you're good with this. Do you mind if I ask you for help? Can you help me with the following area and do some research on this and make some notes here and give that to me by the end of the day? Maybe yes, maybe no. The point is, ask for help. When you don't ask for help, you don't even know how it affects your attitude. Okay? So make sure you're asking for help. Number 4 is being reactive, not proactive. I can't tell you how many times Patrick has asked me, Mario, could you have been more proactive? Yes. I remember we were launching the Vault 2020, and we were supposed to go live. and I came in on a weekend to set up our Sling studio. And I tested the laptop. I sent a text to my whole team. I sent a Slack message. I told everybody, we're ready to go for tomorrow. Pat gives me one of those little emojis, you know, the little fist. Good job coming in on a Sunday. Prepare it. We're ready to. I'm fired up. Some of you might remember this moment. The next day, I didn't know that when you close the laptop and you open up the software, it resets all the defaults. So I thought I preset everything. But the next day when we opened it, everything was wiped out. Here I am, say, you guys ready? You guys ready? Lights, camera, action. We hit live. Nothing goes live. We hit live again. And we go from, if you're familiar with the live stream, we go RTMP, we go YouTube Direct, we go, man, we struggled so bad that morning. And we ended up going live for 5 minutes, it went down. We went live on YouTube and live on the phone, and then I remember being live and everybody's texting me saying, Mario, Pat's kicking your butt, we can hear him. And you know, he was in his right. I messed up. I was reacting in the moment. My team was reacting in the moment. I wasn't proactive. Here's what happened. Remember what we just talked about? I didn't ask for help. Nobody. I thought I could do it by myself. I came in, my whole team reacted in the moment, and guess what I did? I yelled at my whole team. I got mad at the whole team. And then when Patrick asked me what happened, I said, well, nobody helped me. You know, I came in and, you know, the team came in and they, you know, they're experts and they do video. They should know better. They're better with cameras. He said, Mario, are you being reactive or proactive? Did you bring in a Sling Studio expert? No. Did you ask for your team to come in and the videos and the videographers and the shooters to come in and help you set up this morning? No. Did you show up an hour early today to test the laptop? No, I didn't. So you came in and you reacted to everything being ready, but you weren't proactive with the setup. That's just one example. And I can think of so many other examples, but the point is, when you react to something, you get raw emotion. And if you're not proactive every day, if you're not thinking ahead, 2-3 days to next week, to next month, who do we have next? What are we doing next? What do we anticipate? Being proactive is about anticipation, okay? To be proactive, you got to anticipate what's next, okay? You just launched a new product with your company. What's next? Well, we're going to need a flyer, a PDF, a brochure, social media, graphics. Guess what? While you're preparing that, you bring in the right people and you start proactively preparing the launch of that segment, that product, that project, and you can do it that way. It works the same on the personal side. But being reactive makes you upset. If you react, it changes your attitude. And sometimes reacting is a little bit of a fluster, it gets stressful, and we know what all that leads into. A lot of other things that we don't want to come out in the workplace. So be proactive, not reactive. My final point for this episode is repeating the same mistakes. I remember going to California with Patrick one time, and it's Patrick, Paul, and myself. We're about to go visit one of his local offices. Every time we travel, Patrick always gets away a little bit before visiting the actual location or before getting there on time. We go to a coffee shop, we sit down, we catch up on projects, he asks about certain things, and we just talk life a little bit. And I remember we're eating sandwiches in Tarzana, and we're on Ventura and like Reseda or Encino, somewhere around there. And he looks at us, he says, you know what kind of people bug me the most? And I said, what kind of people, Pat? He said, people who've been around me the longest and do the same things that I don't like. I've never forgot that. For years, he basically told me, the people who annoy me are the people who don't get to know me. Have you gotten to know your boss? Have you gotten to know your team? Have you gotten to know your company? Do you know the brand and the strategy and the things? Do you know the way things are supposed to run? And if you do know the way things are supposed to run, or maybe you as the entrepreneur have established the way things are supposed to run, are we repeating the same mistakes or are they new ones? Our philosophy of Valuetainment here with Patrick is new mistakes are okay. But repeating the same mistake over and over and over is not okay. Everybody knows that quote by Albert Einstein. You're probably already saying it. What is insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Even though we know the quote, we do it all the time. We still do it. We still do the same things. Stop repeating the same mistakes. If you take a look and you really nitpick and examine some of the points that I've given you in this video, they're not your typical workout in the morning, work half a day, Do something fun every day. Make sure that you eat something sweet. This isn't that kind of video. These are real things that we're experiencing. But when you repeat the same mistakes, here's what it does. You ready for it? Repeating the same mistakes makes you question who you are. It lowers your identity. When you repeat something that you know better, it changes your psyche because you start thinking, why do I do the same things? Or it lowers your value because it's, why doesn't that person get it? So if you are repeating some of those same mistakes, somebody either in your office needs to bring it up to you, or you need to kind of be honest with yourself and say, you know what? Why do I keep doing that? Sometimes looking inside is a little bit better to start making, some pivots and changes. So again, making new mistakes is okay. Somebody on your team drops a ball on something. Was it a new mistake or did they repeat it? If they repeated it, get a little bit more serious about it. If it's a new mistake, don't worry about the petty stuff. But from there, I hope that in all of these points, in all this entire message, if we start doing those things, we start maybe feeling better, doing better, and start maybe showing a little bit of a different attitude. Because remember, every successful entrepreneur has a before and after story. And the before and after doesn't need to take 90 minutes, doesn't need to take an entire career or weeks or days or months. Your before and after can be in a second. The way you start processing things a little bit different. So right now, today, after watching this video, I want you to ask somebody you really trust or respect a lot. Say, hey, how do you feel about my attitude? How are you doing? How do you think I'm doing? And why don't we improve as entrepreneurs and start caring a little bit more about our people and their attitude, but give them some solutions so that we can change the entire dynamic, the entire culture, and we can start scaling, growing, seeing better results, but ultimately being happier as individuals. With all of that being said, I hope that your attitude has changed a little bit today, and you can take this attitude topic, bring it to your office, maybe take it a little personal, but if you haven't watched my other 2 episodes, it'd be awesome if you did. I'd love to hear your feedback. Leave some ideas on topics to cover in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you online.